Okay, here we are, second part of the safety wiring video. Second part of, well, I'm not sure how many we're going to make. Depends on the questions I get. But, as you can see, the caliper has been safety wired to the custom bracket that I made. I think there's some other videos on my channel showing the process of making this on the CNC mill. Next, we have greased up the mounting bolt holes, and then we'll secure the bolts and safety wire them into place. Okay, that torque wrench says they're at about 15 foot-pounds, pound-feet. And okay, now we need the wire. You may also notice that I have a very fancy schmancy quick release brake mount from Venhill. Oh my god, that thing is fantastic. It saves so much time and effort when swapping wheels back and forth. I love this thing. So if you're ever in the market for new brake lines, Venhill. Yes, they did sponsor me many years ago, but I cannot recommend this product highly enough. If I didn't use it constantly, I wouldn't recommend it. But I do, and I do. Okay, so we've got our standard safety wire, 0.028 thousandths of an inch. Don't know what that is in real numbers, in metric. Oh dear, getting controversial here. Where did I put my safety wire? There it is. Okay. The biggest time waster when safety wiring is not cutting enough wire. So, now what we're going to do is we need to remember that what we want to do is prevent this nut, this bolt, from screwing that way. So we're going to tie this point right here to this hole right here, because that way this one can't twist that way and this one can't twist that way. So from here to here is going to be the most effective, pretty much like this one here. So we could do a number of different methods. We will do this one. This was a method taught to me by actually a former student who was also an aeronautical mechanic, an A&P mechanic. So we'll put that here, and if you can possibly avoid getting pliers with these serrations, do it. I've been looking for flat-toothed safety wire pliers for decades, and I just cannot find them. These are good because they are reversible. There we go, there it is, left and right twist. But I've never been able to find some that had non-serrated teeth. So if anyone knows where to get them, please let me know. The reason is you don't want to put little marks in the wire, because every time you do, that's a stress raiser. A mechanical component is way more likely to fail if there's a little notch or a little deformity or a little bit of damage in the component. Okay, so the benefit here, what I want to do is I want to roll this that way, just to keep this line here on that side of the nut of the bolt. So I'm going to wind it this way. So I will hold it to the distance I want, to about there. I will damage the wire by gripping it right here. And then, alright, so the other lesson I learned from the aviation expert was all you really need is a maximum of 8 twists per inch. Many more than that and you put too much stress on the wire. So that's plenty right there. What I will do though is again damage the wire. Put a little more there just to hold it in place. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there's little bits of damage. There's damage in the wire. I hate that. That's why I need flat-toothed safety wire pliers. Anyway, we'll run this through the hole. Like that. And then, this time we need to twist it the other direction. My feet are about to kill me. There we go. And there, that little twist of the wrist there like that tightens that little twist at the base. Okay, there we go. So we've now securely tied these two bolts in such a way that they cannot come loose, which is why A&P technicians spend huge amounts of time safety wiring airplane nuts and bolts. Okay, so it looked like it was a lot of excess wire, but that's all the scrap we have. And whatever you do, do not let these fall by the wayside. Keep track of them. Put them somewhere you know so they won't end up on the floor, because yes, I have seen races missed because there was a piece of this wire through a tire. Okay, so this is not too tight. You don't want it tight because you don't want there to be a lot of stress and strain on the wire. All you need to do is prevent it from, or you want to prevent the bolt from undoing. Don't make it too tight. Just use it, have it enough tension on it so that it gets tight if the bolts start coming loose. That way you know if you wiggle this just before a race and it's really, really tight, you know that this bolt is trying to come loose. So you can take a look at why that would be. Okay, so we've got this really sharp edge right here, so we don't want to leave that so that it can stab someone. So as I've done on this one, we twist the end over and then bend it out of the way. And that's not a bad safety wire. If anything, it's too tight, but it's not too bad. Okay, so now I've done that one, I've done the brakes. I will do this axle nut, but I won't do that until after I have verified that the forks are perfectly parallel. Because remember, the worst thing you can do for forks is to tighten the axle so much that you're literally pulling the fork legs out of parallel. If you've got the fork legs working like this, it's going to do a lot of damage to your seals in a very short time. Okay, so there's only holes in this bolt right here. These ones don't need to be safety wired because this is a security measure for the axle. but I don't want to have to over tighten this axle nut, so I want to put it in just tight enough to hold the axle in the right position. So to avoid it working its way loose, I then safety wire it. Okay, so the same lessons that we applied on here will apply here. I'll safety wire it on this side because I don't want it to rotate that way. So I'll run the wire, once I've made the legs parallel, I'll run the wire down here and around to here. Right there, like that. Let's see, what else is there? There are a few other methods for safety wiring. We will take a look at those next.